Wow. Welcome back to Nintendo Voice Chat. I'm your host, Brian Altana. With me, Sam Claiborne, Harris Schneider, and Alana Pierce.
Jeez.
Some of my favorite people at IGN, some of the biggest Nintendo fans in the world. Holy, how do I not curse? First of all, I've heard some of the most amazing words out of you guys in the last few seconds specifically.
That was German.
Was that it?
Yeah.
What squid you think?
A brand new Legend of Zelda trailer. We just saw it. It's gorgeous, stunning.
Dude,
that stole the show.
Incredible look at this world. I don't even know where to start. Let's take a breath real quick. Nintendo Switch, March 3rd, this year, $299.
It's like 6 weeks away.
6 weeks away.
Crazy when you put it in perspective.
We didn't get a
That's
ton
so
of
soon.
information on when we can get pre-orders and stuff like that, but this is Nintendo Voice Chat. We will be recapping the entire show that we just saw. I'm still sort of trembling. I've been waiting for this my entire life.
Yeah.
On the phone in a few minutes, we'll have Jose Otero Skyping in from New York City. He's actually on the ground, ready to play Nintendo Switch games live tomorrow at Nintendo's event. But in the meantime, you have us gushing with excitement. Our producers will let us know when he's ready to talk to us. But
Jeez. I mean, what a weird show. I mean, there were ups and downs, right? Like
Yeah.
there were parts where it was like, this presentation is awkward. You know, the
Terrible
translation wasn't great.
translation.
Right.
There were weird games. I mean,
And I like weird
Platinum,
games, but
I
it
don't
was-
know what you guys are smoking.
Yeah.
Arms. I mean,
Arms.
and Octopath Traveler.
Well,
like,
this is-
looked
Project
awesome.
Octopath Traveler.
this is the weird, quirky, 100-something-year-old Japanese toy company being a weird, quirky Japanese
And you
toy
can
company,
play
you
them
know?
all here because it's region free.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I-
Every weirdo game.
I cannot
Yeah.
tell you how happy I am about that as someone who can't play any US games on my 3DS or my Wii U because they're both Australian. I'm so happy for that to be gone. Every time I go home, I don't have to worry about it, and that is absolutely amazing. But it's crazy because the stuff that was leaked on 4chan today, which I think was covered by Shaq News, almost
Right.
all of the games they had were confirmed. We
Yeah.
had
From Europe,
Splatoon 2, which I totally didn't believe. ARMS was in there.
Super Mario Odyssey, the title was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's other stuff that we didn't see, like Street Fighter 2 or Ultra Super Street Fighter 2.
Only
Mario
the
Party
fast
Deluxe.
reel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we didn't really hear much more about that, but I'm amazed that that stuff was legit.
There
Yeah.
were a ton of, I mean, you have to really kind of rewind the big trailer. There were a ton of indie games. Obviously, Minecraft is coming to the
Yes.
platform, which is a humongous game, right? They were
There's
just
a
kind of
beautiful
throwing them
pixelated
in, right?
RPG. That was amazing.
No, there were some really good stuff. Yeah, there was the Octopath
was the
Traveler. That
Octopath
one
Traveler.
looked
Yeah.
really awesome. But like, we should organize our thoughts. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
let's-
first the
let's-
system.
yeah.
There was so much to talk about.
I think it's kind of amazing because I've been doing this job for a long time and covering Nintendo for a long time, and very few things and very few companies can get this many people stuttering at the same time. We're all just sort of like, oh my god, we did it. Okay, so let's start from the top. Immediate reactions to the Nintendo Switch, $299.99 price, a little higher than we expected. Some of us predicted a $249.99. March 3rd, which is right around the corner. Is this going to be able to compete with everybody else? Is this going to matter? I mean, I think that seeing Zelda at launch is enough.
That helps.
It helps.
That helps a lot. The software is like, the year seems good with Mario at the end of it and Zelda at the beginning. That could be enough for a lot of people.
Yep.
But also, like, I love the new colors we saw and like the way this thing looks and feels. Like, it looks like it's exciting.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
a different vibe to it that I think people are gonna like.
We were all saying
I like
watching the Zelda trailer that it looked better. There is
yeah.
potential that it has better graphical capabilities than the Wii U does. We don't
Sure.
know, but that is totally possible.
Judging from the trailer, I mean, we saw a lot. They did a lot more with Sheen and the big open world areas with the ocean. All that looked really, really good. And we played the game at E3, obviously, on the Wii U, and the Wii U version stuttered. Now, granted, we didn't see it running, in gameplay mode for extended periods of time. We'll see more of that tomorrow, but that looked pretty damn good
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me, right? Like
So-
the version definitely looked nicer, and I think that is ultimately the answer to your question. Will people pay $300 for a handheld that is probably not going to be more more powerful than the Xbox One or the PS4? Definitely not, right?
So we've got
Look at
Jose
Zelda.
Otero on the phone right now. I really want his take on this because he's both literally the tallest, biggest, and probably smartest Nintendo fan I've ever met in my entire life, and definitely the most passionate. So Jose, what did you think? Are you on the phone right now? There he is.
I'm Jose
We don't hear
Otero.
He
you.
is
Jose.
stunned, absolutely silent. Just I've never seen him just so quiet about this.
All right.
We're
I'm sure
obviously
they'll
having some
figure that
technical
out.
issues,
Yeah.
but we'll get back to
We'll
it.
get him
I-
back.
I
Hey,
wanted
while
to
we
say-
sort that out. Oh, go ahead. You go first.
I don't think that I will buy it on launch when I can get Zelda on Wii U,
Right.
but Super Mario Odyssey, I think I'll buy it when that comes
That's-
out. And they
that's a-
said summer, right?
That's a very special thing. Alana, can you hold up your notes real quick because they're amazing.
I
That's
know,
just
some
the notes are
very-
so
that's
great.
really
Very
really good.
messy notes.
Yeah,
that-
I love that.
That I
Mario's holiday.
scribbled down as
Guys,
quickly as I
we
possibly
talked
could.
about this before on the pre-show, how excited we would be if there'd be kind of an open world exploration-based Mario game.
Yeah.
That's it.
We got our butt
This
cam.
is the Zelda I want, and this is the Mario I want.
All right,
Yeah, the butt cam.
everyone, rein it in a little bit. We're gonna actually talk a little
Less
bit
excitement.
here
Okay.
about the actual hardware itself.
Sure.
I know we're all incredibly excited. I feel like a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. So the hardware itself, pretty amazing. Yeah, we obviously have Super Mario Odyssey right here, taking advantage of everything that the hardware is doing. We'll get to that in a minute. One of the really cool things that I think about that they sort of showed off with this hardware was that it's sort of a design evolution of everything they've ever done in the past, from the D-pad to motion controls to touch screens. It's all sort of right there. Just a beautiful piece of kit here.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that they threw out really quickly. Obviously, 8 of these things can connect wirelessly for local multiplayer. It's got Wi-Fi. I'm hearing that Jose's ready to talk to us, so we'll get back to the hardware stuff. Jose, how you doing, man?
Hey.
I'm good. Yeah, so much to talk about. Thanks for having me and for this crazy setup to have me call in.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Right now I'm in my hotel room, and my God, that Zelda trailer would not end. And
Absolutely
every
beautiful.
second of it was incredible, like in a
Holy-
way that I think we all needed. And it's just funny to troll the release date of Zelda that long and that hard.
That's not funny
But
at
when
all.
you saw it, no, it's not funny. You're playing with emotions.
Now, Jose,
This is
in our
the biggest-
in our pre-show, I said mistakenly, I don't need to see any more Zelda. I'm sold. I'm good. That was a dumb thing to say.
Yeah.
Unless it's new
me
areas,
too.
and that's what
I
we
said
saw.
this thing. I was like, "There's no way."
I saw
So-
Gorons and was like, let me take more of my money. Like, get up all of it.
So now,
It had everything,
Yeah.
right?
Jose, how do you feel about the price and the structure of the different SKUs, the Joy Cons? I want your take on some of the hardware news we got tonight.
Sure. I mean, I think it was really important to get a lot of the news out of the way early, and clearly they did that, right? Like Kimishima, first of all, like his first appearance to fans, like think about it. You've never seen Tatsumi Kimishima in a Nintendo Direct. He's always been the guy who looks very serious. And here, right on stage, and then there was this whimsical way that they started to sort of tell you, well, here's what the hardware is. And they got the good news out of the way, they got the bad news out of the way. I think, for example, price, big important thing, $299. Date March 3rd is exciting, but is 2 million units enough for the month of March before fiscal? That doesn't sound great. Okay, but then move forward. These Joy-Cons, they have these wrist straps that are included that will sort of change their shape, and you can alter them a little bit. You know, there's this customization to the hardware that comes with the package.
Sure.
But then you have something like battery life between 2.5 hours and 6 hours. And so it was
Supposedly
a bit of a
3
mix,
Zelda.
but it got everything out of the way early, which was important, I think.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. It was sort of a little bit of a roller coaster there of being like excited for the release date, a little bit let down by the price, then finding out about the battery life, which is a roller coaster in of itself. Alana, you just mentioned that there was a quick thing that said 3-hour battery life for Zelda.
Expected Zelda, yeah, 3 hours. But they also mentioned that it includes portable batteries and USB Type-C, which makes me think there are going to be third parties who will give us portable batteries so that we can charge on the go.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and if you played Pokemon Go like crazy last year, maybe you have some of those sitting around. Hopefully they work as well.
But that seems to be the truth about battery life is it really depends on the game, right? Like
Absolutely.
I buy it like 6 hours for some of the indie games that we saw that don't push the hardware quite as hard. It's gonna be longer. But for Zelda and Skyrim and the Japanese subtitle said 3 hours for Zelda average playing time. So that's okay. That's not great, but that's exactly what we expected. So
Sure.
it wasn't
Yeah.
a big letdown for me.
They also said the device will capture video in the future, which maybe means streaming or YouTube services. That's
Yeah.
something that Nintendo have been pretty weird on in the past, is basically working with YouTubers. They've locked down a lot of content. Maybe the ability to capture video means that they are kind of building in their own video recording system that will make it more community friendly.
Yeah, what does that mean for storage?
Sure. Yeah,
We
true.
don't know that question.
Now,
We don't know the answer to that.
Jose, what do you think was the biggest surprise tonight?
Oh man. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I was expecting a name for Mario and a window for Mario, and we got one. Mario's not a launch game. Mario will be a big E3 game, right? I feel like it was a conference with a lot of ups and downs, but it started on a high note and it ended on a high note for the most part. I'm not sure if I have a big surprise per se, because I feel like I went in knowing what I was going to get, which was a really good look at what was in development for it. I mean, Splatoon 2, seeing them commit to this is a sequel was probably a surprise for me, just because Karen and I love
Xenoblade
that
2.
game.
What about Xenoblade?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Xenoblade, that being Xenoblade 2. Now, remember, Xenoblade Chronicles, like Xenoblade Chronicles, I think, was the original Wii game, and then we got a different one in the Wii U version, and they're unrelated. And now you have a Xenoblade 2, and I'm like, well, where does that fit? Is that after the Wii game or not? But regardless, that's a big game by Monolith Software, an RPG with a big hardcore audience a hardcore audience is going to love that style of a game. And it's a good showcase title too. I mean, once again, the scale is impressive, right?
Yes.
And to know that you're going to play that on the go is really, really cool.
Yeah, in terms of hardware, I was most surprised by the actual Joy-Con controllers themselves having HD motion controls that can apparently feel something as sensitive as ice moving in a glass.
Wasn't that weird? Like the demo of
very
like the
odd.
ice cubes
Odd way to
falling
do
in?
it.
But it's like, I mean, I buy it. Nintendo introduced the console world to Rumble,
Yep.
right? And they did some really crazy stuff on the handhelds. Remember with WarioWare Twisted, where it really felt like you had the cheese grater, right? The
Yeah.
famous example, like. They're gonna do some fun stuff
Yeah,
with this.
I mean,
right?
like we saw with 1-2 Switch, it seems to be able to detect range and also really accurately detect motion. I didn't expect that at all. This is basically Wiimotes, but infinitely more portable.
They're smart little controllers.
They are.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Jose,
for me,
what?
a more interesting thing that was a surprise to me was how many new faces we saw on that stage from Nintendo internally. I mean, you like I said, you kicked off with the president of the company, but then you had Shinya Takahashi, who's the head of all development. You had Koizumi, who's been leading the Mario team forever. Each first-party game had a different rep, and some of them were people you'd never seen before. And I'm just like, oh, wow, this is the fresh new faces that this company needs to start using to their advantage to really like just show that Nintendo is not this traditional old company, like that they're going to be different, that they're going to evolve, that new people are going to come to the forefront. I think that surprised me a lot. I did not expect that going into this presentation.
I completely agree with that.
Am I crazy, or do we not see how these games are going to be made? Are they cartridges? Like, what are they?
Well, we do
are
know they're cartridges, yeah.
But
Yeah.
they didn't show a single cartridge,
No,
right?
but I
They
did
didn't.
check out a case that basically implied the size, and they almost look like they're 3DS size. They're
Yeah.
very small cartridges. We have no idea how they work.
What are they hiding?
Well, I wonder if this
you
is maybe
buying?
an
And then
attempt to
can I
prevent.
download them and fill up a hard drive?
So-
Like, those
Yeah.
are the questions that are still up in the air. I
They
can't
didn't
believe
talk
it.
about that, but they talked about one big surprise, and that Nintendo is going pay with online
Yes.
play, right? Like
Yes.
Nintendo has
Good point,
always
yeah.
touted free multiplayer. Now they're going to put that account system to good use and pull you in. Unfortunately, no word yet on whether our VC games port over or anything, but
They did also
there will
mention
be-
chatting with friends, so maybe
Yeah,
this is
there
the
will be
first time
more
that we will be able
invites
to
too.
voice chat.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and this whole like try before you buy structure, where it's like, hey, you're going to have it for free for the first couple of months, and then we're going to start offering the pay version in the fall, which is convenient timing because that's when obviously the sales are going to ramp up, right? You're going into the holiday. That's when people are going to start spending a lot more money on hardware. It's a convenient story, but here's the thing. If it's a hard system to find, how many people are really going to get to try that free version? Once the pay version is out there, do you never get to use the free version? Like, are they going to do,
point.
for example, take SegaNet or take like Xbox Live? Having a free trial is really important on selling a consumer
Yep.
on if they're going to pay. If I'm going to plunk down $40 or $50 a year for your service, and I think
Yeah.
that's really important, and they
Yeah.
got to get to that.
I think especially for games like Splatoon, right? Splatoon is it had a single player campaign mode, but the heart of that game was in multiplayer, and they obviously also built a release structure where you would get new content updates over time, and they announced the same thing for Splatoon 2 already. So I feel like they will have to do that kind of introduction for a while, right? Nintendo has a very broad audience, and I think has a lot of players who don't play online, you know, in various markets.
Yeah.
So I gotta think they'll keep that grace period.
Yeah, here's the thing too. So let's talk about third parties because we've been kind of focused heavily on the first party stuff, right? Like, I think, for example, on MVC we called Fire Emblem would make a great choice for a Tecmo Koei Warriors game. That's happening. That's
Yep.
cool. You had a Shin Megami Tensei like tease. It didn't give you an English name, so I have no idea by watching the presentation what that
Sure.
was.
It
Then you
just
have your
said-
Square Enix project Octopath Traveler. What is with the Square Enix name machine? Like they just
Never
they flip the
stop.
switch.
Never
They
stop.
flip the switch and whatever comes out.
This
is the
game looks
title.
amazing.
Was
Yeah.
that was
This
Atlas,
looks
right?
cool.
For Shin Megami Tensei, that was Atlas.
I see.
The Square Enix game was Project Octopath Traveler, which I'm trying to get my tongue around it because it's
Yeah.
almost part of a tongue twister. But then, the sizzle reel showed you some more, right? You had Minecraft in there. You had a Dragon Ball game in there. You had
No more heroes.
Yep.
Farming
Dragon
Simulator,
Quest.
No More Heroes. That's right.
Yeah.
You had Suda on stage. Did he even announce a game? What was that?
No, that was a very odd segment, and I would have loved if it was a little bit better rehearsed. But he did show Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes, which is like kind of one of my favorite video game characters of all time. One of the first sort of violent, mature, M-rated games we saw taking advantage of motion controls on the Nintendo Wii. So the idea of that coming back with 3D motion, I believe they're calling it now, is really exciting to me.
HD motion, I think it
HD,
was.
3D,
Yeah.
HD, 4D, yeah.
HD.
Shut up.
You guys are. You guys. That's what it's called. HD motion.
So
I,
when you
I will
guys-
not. I will not have two foreigners battle each other.
I'm not gonna hate on this. No, but you guys are forgetting one big little game that was shown that has me super excited. Like when you have multiple switches in a room, Bomberman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bomberman.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Super Bomberman R.
Ooh,
Did we also see Skylanders? Was Skylanders in there?
that was in there. We
Yes.
saw.
And we also saw Amiibo support is confirmed. So
Right.
we definitely have Amiibos.
And Skyrim looks surprisingly good.
It does. I think it's
was-
supposed to be.
I mean, I'm not saying that because I expected it to be weak. It's just because it already was looking really good in the HD remake, and it looks just as good.
it's supposed to be really similar to the 360 PS3 version, which I would believe. Like, I mean, it's not going to be the same version that recently came out on Xbox One and PS4, but I also don't care.
They upgraded it. I mean, the visuals are
looks
different,
better.
so it
There's
has
more
the
textures, I think.
it has the different coloring. The trees look different from
Sure.
the old ones.
Sure.
Will it have
But
mods?
I mean, they obviously didn't put the same name on it. So just like FIFA, which doesn't have a number in the title,
Yeah.
it's going to be a special version. Hopefully, that doesn't mean that you get one FIFA for 5 years and that's it for us.
Yeah, that would be really sad. No,
yeah.
I agree with you. What about 1-2 Switch and ARMS? I mean, like, you knew Nintendo was going to make a mainstream play. They are always going to do that. And it was weird to watch Twitter because obviously the folks who I follow or who are tweeting at me are the hardcore fans, and they immediately tune it out. Were you guys intrigued by them? Were you weirded out by them? Did you not like them? I'm curious to hear what you
I
guys
think 1-2 Switch is the thing that makes this a family console again.
Yeah.
This is the thing my mum wants. This is the thing that she wants to play Candy Crush on when she's doing her exercise, and then wants to play with her friends and show them something really funny, like how much of a hit Wii Sports was,
Yeah.
basically.
You know why it's going to be a hit? Because you no longer have to say, come over and play it. You can just go, I'll come over and we'll play it. Like
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a killer app for them to reach the mainstream because it's so, again, like they've removed one more friction point, and that's the stare at the TV to make something move. It's like now you have almost like a tabletop like party game extension where the TV is almost secondary.
Yeah, I
right?
think it's
like
a-
it's really, it looks clever and weird.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's fun, but I'm really intrigued by it.
It's a great idea to
Yeah.
have a video game that isn't really a video game
Sure.
made by a toy company.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a fantastic concept, and with the motion controls and stuff like that, it seems like this is something that people of all ages can battle with each other. It didn't look like there was going to be anything that sort of would be prohibitive of that.
Yeah,
really cool
I agree
idea.
with you guys. Sorry, I just want to throw in. I think that have you guys ever played Johann Sebastian Joust? Anyone?
No.
Like that's a
Sounds
good
made up.
example of what this game is like to
that
me.
up.
Just a game that you're going to have a ton of fun with a bunch of people socially. You're going to look each other in the eye while you play it. That's a PlayStation Move game, by the way. It was part of Sports Friends. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was this awesome party game that you didn't really need a TV to play. You just grab some Move controllers, and there was this fun sort of rhythm to how it worked. I think this has that potential too. We'll have to see if it's fun.
Yeah, I mean,
about-
it
what
is
about
it is going to be a party game machine. I mean, like just think of the games we saw, Splatoon, and then my friend. We complained so much when Mario Kart 8 came out, and
I
it
know.
didn't have a battle mode. And guess what? They were driving around with balloons.
Yeah. So let's talk
Oh,
about
man.
ARMS real quick. The biggest troll of the night. I think many of us in the room were yelling "Red Dead." Clearly not
I
happening.
was shouting Wild Gunman.
Okay. Well, yes.
Oh, you went to.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
You too. So ARMS is probably my favorite video game title of the year, and it's early contender for one of
Name
the.
don't lie.
Yeah, one of the goofiest video game titles. It's just
true.
It's straightforward. It's called ARMS. It's a game about arms. The arms are punching each other using their arms. I don't know who this is for besides everyone. It's kind of amazing. The art direction's really cool. I think some of us were sort of saying, why isn't this Punch Out? You've got this great license sitting right there. But that being said, this looks like a great example of what to do with the Joy-Con controllers. Motion controls are going to get, this guy's already sweating and he's in way better shape than me. Motion controls are obviously, things are going to get very heated here. I think real life fights, this game's going to be called Harms eventually. But this is this is a fighting game, you know? Like
Doesn't this seem like it's going back to Wii? Like this could be
This
a
is
Wii
definitely
game.
Wii.
Yeah.
And what did the public like? the Wii.
I was gonna say-
and the Wii U was nothing like the Wii.
Nothing like it. There was a
So
section.
This is really good.
Yeah.
that
There
they
was a
can show
section in
off.
this live show between 1-2 Switch and ARMS that was absolutely calling back to the old motion days of playing Wii Sports with your friends
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, which is now so long that people have nostalgia for it. So I think the idea of
Exactly.
having a party
Exactly.
system like that again makes sense.
But the story is so cool because they went through all the systems. They said, remember NES, remember Super NES. And it's like they took a little piece from each one of them and they put it all together and they built a console that can run all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can run all the games.
Absolutely. Now, Jose, you're on the phone, but tomorrow you're actually going to be hands-on with the Nintendo Switch. One of the first people in the world, one of the few people in the world that was alluded to by Reggie earlier. What does your day look like? What are you playing? What do you think? What is this gonna be like to actually hold this thing for the first time?
So I don't know what I'm playing yet, but I would assume a lot of the stuff that you saw, obviously, in that video. In terms of, it's exciting to get your hands on a new Nintendo console, right, and just see what it's capable of doing, seeing this form factor. I'm curious to try just holding a Joy-Con left or right by itself for the first time, because I have big hands. I just want to see how comfortable that is. How does it feel in your hands? Nintendo hits a certain standard in terms of how their devices feel,
Yeah.
and sort of the sort of just. They never feel chintzy. They never feel cheap. I'm eager to find out for myself and see more of how the software feels. I'm going to be dueling against people tomorrow in 1-2 Switch. Like, that's going to be weird, but I'm going to try and have a good time with it and just see where and what stands out. And hopefully, I mean, to me, the thing I'm going to be most looking out for is, rumors going into this conference were that the minute it's undocked and the minute it's not running on portable juice, the performance on some of the games can and probably will take a hit. I hope that they have the confidence to let us see that, because if we can't unplug it, that's going to be a problem. I think we need to get that experience just as much as we need to touch the controller and play the games. I think that letting people see the portable mode for what it is a crucial step for them.
Excellent.
For sure. Are you sad you don't get to play Mario?
I mean, you never know. A stage or two could be there. I have no idea what's there yet. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, they kind of alluded that you won't get to play it yet.
Yeah, well, we'll
That
get it
makes
this
sense.
fall. Probably get to play it at E3. Jose, I'm so excited to see what you get to play tomorrow. All your hands-on videos. This is a globally coordinated thing between all of IGN, Japan, UK, AU, America. So thank you so much for being on the ground for this. Thank you so much for calling in to us. We're just beginning our coverage of the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to continue our show right now. So Jose, good luck tomorrow.
Have fun, man.
Get some sleep,
Thanks.
dude.
Get some pizza.
Thanks, guys. Have a good show, and definitely I'll be back with more stuff. And see ya.
Get the thing. All right. So
Let's talk crap about him.
No, I
because he
wanna-
gets to play the Switch.
we have some breaking news
So
right now that I
unfair.
wanted to get into real quick. We actually have some accessory prices for the Nintendo Switch accessories. Now we got the console price at $299. The Switch Pro controller will be $69.99, which is very expensive on the controller side of things. The Joy-Con controllers are actually $49.99 each.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
Pro
left and
stands
right.
for priced really outrageously.
Yep. Oh, that was good. Good. That was on the fly. Or you can buy them together for $79.99. That's a deal, but not necessarily the best deal. These things are going to get lost or stolen, or maybe you want a second set. I did see an accessory kicking around the other day where you could charge 4 at the same time. That's a lot of money.
It must be that HD rumble that they built into this thing must be very
It's got to be expensive.
technology,
I did also see a lot more basic accessories at CES. We saw a lot of companies already making silicon cases and crystal cases. And to Jose's concern about the size of the controller, I did touch one of the crystal cases, which is just a hard case. It is very small. I totally didn't get to touch the console itself, but I was a little concerned that it was my right thumb specifically felt slightly too low, and I wonder how this is going to be for people who have bigger hands.
Right. We actually have a few more prices here. Now, we were talking earlier in the show about the Switch dock and being able to buy secondary ones and bring it different places, bring it to your friend's house and stuff like that. Wow. Your multiple homes and apartments. The Nintendo Switch dock set is $89.99.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
So, yeah, that's getting up there. And the Joy-Con charging grip, which I believe is that little dog
Middle
face?
thing?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
middle thing.
Yes.
The dog face.
The middle thing.
Why would you buy that? Oh, I guess shouldn't you just buy that in a pack?
Maybe
with the
you want another one.
controllers?
You would think.
I mean, so think about multiplayer games where both people are holding controllers at the same
Well,
time.
but
with-
you still need the Joy-Cons also. So
Yep.
if you get 2 Joy-Cons and that anyway, what's the
You can
price?
start doing the math and all that, and it's going to get prohibitively expensive. Joy-Con wheel, set of 2, $19.99. Do we know what that is? The Joy-Con wheel? IGN's got the story right now. The official Switch controller
I
prices
mean, it
and
must be a
accessories.
Mario Kart accessory.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
So obviously, all of that coming
Cradle,
together.
yeah.
No, I think we expected something from Nintendo along the lines of innovation when it came to controllers, and I thought, sort of going into the Switch, that this was the first one that just seemed sort of derivative. It's got a touch screen. It's got some wands that come off the side.
Wait, does it have a touch screen?
It does.
Yes,
They
it
did
does.
say multi-touch.
Yeah.
Okay, multi-touch.
I was worried
Good.
about that.
First time.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But so it like on top of all of this coming together with all of the sort of evolutions of and inventions from Nintendo history, these Joy-Cons are obviously the real deal. They're doing something special.
Yeah.
We had that weird trailer of him shaking the controllers to make it simulate ice cubes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's the kind of thing I think more and more with video games nowadays. If you look like VR, the Wii, the 3DS, these are things you're going to have to hold to really understand. So I hope the public gets a chance to do that. They did say there's going to be 6 opportunities in 6 major cities in North America on 6 different Sundays. That's a mouthful. To actually try this thing and see if you can shake the ice cubes yourself. Such a ridiculous concept.
We didn't talk about this much, but colors.
Yeah.
Everybody in our room cheered when
Yep.
the colors came on, which I thought was really cool. The SKU that comes, and when we say SKU, it's an industry term for meaning a box that's
Yeah.
different from another box that you get your console in. But basically, there's one version of the system that comes with a red and a blue.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's real. I find that weird. I mean, I get why it's like player 1, player 2,
Yeah.
very clear, but like I don't want mine to look like that.
No, me
I,
neither.
you know,
Even.
I,
The thing about that
But I
is-
like the colors. I think
Yeah,
they're nice.
I do too. And I think that means that we will see like a Wii U, like the Wii U version when I think it was Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
That was gold.
Wind Waker.
with the golden.
That was Wind Waker.
Yeah.
I think that we will see 3DS does this a lot as well.
Yes.
There's been a million different
Yes,
editions of that.
custom
We will see,
controllers.
custom controllers that come out with different games, and those are going to be awesome collector's items. But
No brainer for this
And how
thing,
much will they
right?
cost?
Yeah.
Well, on the plus side, if you do want your Joy-Cons to match and you have a friend, you can trade, or you can
Yes,
buy an
true.
individual one for $49.99 or a brand new
But
set.
maybe you can never get left or right of that same color.
You're creating a
Oh,
very
no.
scary world for us.
Oh man.
no, I do have
Plus,
to say
the T in the middle is never going to match. It's always going to be black.
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh, this is OCD terror.
Those prices are pretty scary to me.
I think that there's a lot of sort of opportunity to create new colors, as Alana said, and we've seen that a lot with 3DS. But like, there's a new one every couple of weeks. But the idea of having 2 new colors in the same box that don't match is gonna drive some people crazy. Personally, me, you know, like I think right off the bat, the logo's asymmetrical. So to have the left and right Joy-Con asymmetrical, I don't have kids, but I imagine being a kid and fighting over who gets the red one and the blue one. There's gonna be fights before we even turn on a game, which is a problem.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I was just saying the prices of the extras really scares me. I think that adding all of these accessories up and the multiple docks, it's getting pretty expensive. So how much is it for just a standard Joy-Con?
So
$49,
$49.99, $79.99 for the set.
Set. Okay, so they always come
two.
in twos.
Twos,
then.
that's still like a lot of money if you want to even them out at some point or you want to change the colors. That's pretty expensive.
It's not cheap. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But like the dock
Mario
surprises
Party is gonna
me
be
because-
expensive.
because the dock is going to be the price of like a 3DS in the end. You know, like you,
There must
you really
be
have to
tech
think
in
about
it,
that.
right? Doesn't that indicate it can't just be a plastic cradle?
lots of
for 80
ports
bucks.
and-
You're
you
right.
know.
It can't be.
There's
I think-
something going on with
I think if you're standing in the store and you're like, I can buy a game or 2, or I can buy another dock. I mean, it's sort of getting to that territory. But we've seen video game controllers get expensive. This is not a Nintendo exclusive thing. PS4 controllers, Xbox One controllers
Yeah.
are expensive at launch. The Xbox One had the Play and Charge kit, which updated up the price even more. So I want to focus on the games real quick. We ran through a bunch of them very quickly. If you saw the stream itself, there was basically just run of 30 games in a row. Just absolutely insane. It was almost too much. We're going to be rewinding that and pulling it apart for days and weeks now. But I want to focus on Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
Because that is
Finally.
far and away the game that had everyone in the room cheering, put big smiles on all of our faces. It was the first time we got to see Super Mario using his hat as a weapon. Now in Mario 64, we got to see him lose his hat, but the idea of him taking it and throwing it around. But most importantly, Mario is in our world now.
Yeah.
Is this okay? Is everyone
it
all right?
says New Donk City in
Yeah.
the background.
Looks like he's in New York with Jose. Yeah.
So
And,
it seems like there are environments inspired by the real world. I do not feel okay about this in a way that I don't like to see him interacting with human beings. It's just weird to me. But what Is this a Spider-Man game?
Yeah.
So this must be a level entrance there, right?
Yeah.
Like this
It's
has
the hub-
gotta
it
be
is
the
the
hub
hub
world,
world.
and
Yeah.
that level entrance takes you to this weird, like, South America town,
Right.
With
or the movie Rango.
Triangle.
you see, he was collecting like triangles.
Triangles. I feel like
Yeah.
they mentioned something on the stream
This
about.
looks amazing. This forest. Sorry.
Like, I wonder if it's alternate universes. Like, maybe Mario somehow ends up in New York City and opens up different parallels. But they did say this is the first time since 64/Sunshine that Mario's had a hub world.
Right.
But look how different each world looks. Really different. Like not just
Like a different
not
art
just
team.
like the old kind of jungle versus beach versus like
Yeah.
lava worlds. Like the art style
Look
looks
at that.
completely different.
Yeah.
Like
so
this is so weird. Like, look at-
jump rope?
what I really enjoy about this is great, is this kind of losing the thematic tone of having it say locked in something like 3D World, which
Yeah.
had cats, or Galaxy, which was space, or Sunshine, which was beach islands. This is sort of saying we are removed of all thematic shackles here. We can do anything we want. We can go to that weird cereal level where he's jumping in that bowl of food, or he can go in New York. He jumped on his hat. It's awesome.
He rode a lion.
Finally,
Yeah.
new moves. That means there's new
You're right.
moves for Mario.
Yeah. This is really cool. It actually looks incredibly challenging too. I'm a little disappointed to see the age-old archetype of Peach being kidnapped yet again. I feel like it's finally time for her to just like kick Bowser's ass and start her own thing. But for some reason, somewhere at Nintendo, they keep saying that it's not a Mario game unless Peach gets kidnapped. Bowser is the weird dude with the hat now. I think he's trying to get married. Is that the plot here?
I mean, it's something we're all familiar with, I
Yeah.
guess is the idea. It's something that we know to expect, and it's also very simple, so it's not challenging. You just focus on gameplay.
Yeah.
I feel is kind of their justification for that. But also, as a young girl, it would have been really cool to play as Peach.
I know.
Rescue Mario.
I know.
That would
Yeah,
have been
turn
fun.
that around. He
And
looks
maybe
like he
that'll
needs
still
help.
happen. It's hard to
It
tell.
could. You're totally right.
After Super Mario Galaxy, we all said to ourselves, what's next? Super Mario Universe? Like, this is getting bigger
Yeah.
and bigger. And instead, they decided to scale it in and make this basically Super Mario R World.
Or it's like a
Like,
travel game.
Yeah. The logo, the O in the Mario is
The world.
Is the world.
The
is,
world.
is our world that we live on. And I think it's really cool to see. Now, obviously, we won't get this at launch. We won't even get it in the summer, but we'll probably be able to play it by then.
If let's hope it doesn't get delayed until next year, right?
Yeah.
These games take a long time to really get perfectly right.
They
And, like,
weren't working on anything else
the,
there.
but the
remember.
few times that they didn't get it completely right, like Sunshine, right? Sunshine was rushed for a summer launch because they had that theme, that beach theme, and so they couldn't delay it. And it shows there were some rough edges. I want them to take their time with this game. It already looks really awesome. I can't wait to play it, and I'm so happy that we get the kind of like the butt cam.
Yeah.
The real behind the Mario camera.
That's really what you wanted, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It's, I mean, I feel
That's
like
what
the
I wanted.
top-down isometric camera was good for bringing casual players back in. I know a lot of like lapsed players and people who hadn't played a 3D Mario game were a little thrown off by games like Sunshine and Galaxy, and 3D World kind of helped that. It was great for multiplayer, which we didn't really get to see any of here. But come on, like I'm a hardcore Mario fan. I just want to play a game like that. And they said for the first time that this is a sandbox game. That's so fascinating to hear.
And they mentioned Sunshine in 64 in that. I think Jose has a really good point where he was saying that there's a new crop of people designing games at Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's a new generation, and they're really trying to make people on stage. You know, we didn't recognize some of them. There's definitely new people working on this game.
Yeah.
Like this is not the same game being made by the same people.
There's a young
and they're letting that happen.
There's a young,
Which is
vibrant
awesome.
energy at the company, and I think you can see that through titles like Splatoon and now Super Mario Odyssey. So this is a good time.
Yeah, if you think about, the hub world in Super Mario 64, it was fairly simple. You could explore and find these new level entrances, and then you could practice swimming. Like you got to try out all his moves before you went into a level and like just mess around. Then you look at this hub world and like he's doing wall jumps to get on top of a skyscraper, and as you pointed out, he throws his hat and jumps off his hat to get to another area. I feel like it's just this world where you can just mess around, and I'm assuming he's not going to have that hat trick in the very beginning, like
it
that's
looks
something
very
you earn.
Lego City to me.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Because we're doing this on the fly and we're live, we're going to talk a little bit more about Mario because it's one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. Obviously, you saw him in the Redwood Forest here. But I want to cut over really quickly to Zelda because we just got news of the Legend of
Oh
Zelda
my
Breath of the Wild
gosh.
Master Edition.
Oh my
which,
gosh.
Alana, I have to show you this immediately
with
because
us.
this
Oh
is, you are going to be so geeked out by
Oh,
this.
that's pretty.
So it looks like it comes with a Master Sword, a copy of the game, a giant fold-out map, and some sort of pouch. Is that his like weird and a soundtrack and a coin?
And this is the Switch box right there.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't actually show it to you right now, but you can see what Breath of the Wild looks like running on a Nintendo Switch, which I
look at that bridge.
swear looks better.
It
has to.
absolutely looks better. Look, like you just some of the definition, like this. I mean, this is a very familiar environment that we're seeing over and over. But like when you see a lot of water, man, look at that. It's just
Grass in the foreground and then
scope.
everything else in the background.
And the draw distance.
yeah, the draw distance and just like how big this world is, and then. You know, we talked before this event. We talked about we were very limited to one area, and everything looked very similar. Well, there's a lot of different stuff in this trailer that we haven't seen before, and like just look at like the different areas and the different bosses that are coming out. Man, did you see that ground? Like, that looked really cool.
I have been playing Legend of Zelda games since the original one in the 80s. My brothers watched me play it. My mother watched me play it. It's one of those things that has always stuck with me. And this game feels like the realization of what that game wanted to be, 35 years ago. And it's just so beautiful. And I think one of our worries with this thing is it's an open world, but it looked a little empty and it didn't seem like it was teeming with life. And now, look. It is. There are flowers growing everywhere. There's weird little foxes and strange creatures.
Characters
It's
and
got
species
voice
that we
acting.
know. And
Yeah.
voice acting. Yeah.
Did you
we
like-
saw Gorons and we saw the Gerudo probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what else? There was a bunch of things that we were just calling them off as they.
I think they're about to pop up. We also saw
Okay, cool.
like a village for the first time,
Yes.
which was very exciting to me. I want to see stuff that's really fun for me to exist in. That doesn't look so fun.
Look at
but
the invasion.
Princess Zelda
there.
was really
really
upset.
pretty
Yeah.
places you can just walk around.
There's almost a sort of like tragic tone to Princess Zelda, if that is indeed her, in this trailer. And I feel as if
Maybe it's Linkle.
she said like everything she had done was a failure almost. And
Goron.
Goron.
it's kind of amazing to think that maybe
Oh
this
yeah, the
That's
Great
right.
Fairy.
Great Fairy.
rein it in, everyone.
Sorry.
That, I know we're excited that
Zora.
that this could be a sad story. This is a beautiful, optimistic, positive, wonderful looking world, but this could be a tragedy here.
It seems
You
a lot.
must save her, my daughter.
It seems a lot darker. And it
Link
also
looks beaten down too.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
it ends with something that says, "Let me show you what happened 100 years before,"
100 years
or something like that. I'm not sure what that means or
Wind
where that
Waker
fits
sequel.
into the lineage.
Maybe there's some sort of like link to the past.
Oh man, you're
a
Get
good
out.
idea.
Oh god.
Leave.
There wasn't in that
Claymore,
game.
everybody.
They didn't link you to the past in that game.
There'll
Now-
definitely be a link to the past in this.
Now, whether you remember the Nintendo Wii as being a hardcore gaming system or something you spent thousands of hours with, or if it's sort of like whimpered off by the end, you probably do remember starting your adventures with the Nintendo Wii by playing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. To have such a gigantic, epic game at launch was phenomenal. And I know that we had casual affairs like Wii Sports and Wii Play and stuff like that. But Zelda was there for when everyone left.
When everybody left, exactly, right?
Yeah.
You just play it all night.
And then Twilight Princess was bittersweet, right? Because you played the game, and as an owner of the newer systems, you were always wondering what could have been, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if this game ran in HD? But you got a port on hardware that was marginally more powerful. Like that HD barrier is now behind Nintendo, and so you're going to get a game that looks pretty damn good on the screen.
Now, with
that's
the
so
motion
exciting.
control stuff we did see with the Joy-Cons, do you think that's going to be folded into Breath of the Wild in any way? I mean, we saw some very serious emphasis on motion controls, and I don't think that's exactly what people want from Zelda.
Well, I think when you mess around with a magnet. First of all, the Sheikah Slate looks like the tablet,
Sure.
right? Like looks like your Switch, and so you are going to interact with it in some fashion, I assume. They've been pretty careful and I think respectful with the motion controls in the Zelda games, right? Obviously, you had the waggle and in Skyward Sword the more kind of advanced sword control, which this is not going to have. But I think the bow and arrow stuff was really successful in the old games. That
Yeah.
was subtle and it worked well. And just aiming with the gamepad, I think, is going to be in there and it's going to be great.
We've all played it on Wii U. I don't believe they had that when I played it on Wii U, but I assume it's something that might be optional. It seems
There
crazy
was
not to take
motion
advantage.
controls for some aiming
Yeah,
in the
you
Wii
could-
U
was?
version.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could.
And it was
do
just
this.
tilting the tablet. That's all it was. It wasn't like hold it up and look through it and aim that
Yeah.
way.
Now, I just read that Walmart already sold out of pre-orders, so aren't we
Wow.
having a great time sitting here not ordering
man.
them? And to get to that, who here's getting one at launch? Who here's waiting? Now, Alana, you said you might wait a little while.
Definitely. It's always a finances thing. You have to decide what you're going to buy. Right now, I'm trying to save for a PC. It's more
Bear, go.
expensive than I expected it to be, and because of that, I don't think that I will buy it on launch. I would have if Zelda were an exclusive, but because it's not, I'll just buy that on Wii U. And then I think that I will wait for Odyssey or for a price drop.
Now, if you find out that there's major technical differences between the Wii U and the Switch version of Zelda, what's going to happen then?
That would depend on what the technical differences are.
Okay.
If it doesn't look as good, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about the graphical fidelity so much. I did see some people tweeting saying that they thought a lot of the games looked bad or didn't look next gen.
I'm trying to pre-order. Stop bothering me.
I don't
Think it's
care
fair?
about the way that things look in terms of specifically graphics so much, as long as the art direction is good. And I do think
Absolutely.
it is for Zelda. But at the same time, the rumors said it's supposed to be 720p and on a 6.2 inch screen. I think that's going to look pretty gorgeous.
Did we get a launch date for the Wii U version? We did not. Right?
No, there wasn't. They
just
didn't mention
assumed same
anything.
day.
about
I think
it.
that's very peculiar because there are millions of Wii U's out there, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are holding on to that to be the sort of swan song of the console. And many Nintendo fans will jump right over to the Nintendo Switch. I know I will, but there has to be a large demographic of people who are saying this is a little expensive. I don't need all these extra things right now.
Absolutely,
I'm going
yeah.
to stick it out. Now, the version of Twilight Princess launched on GameCube. What was it? 2 weeks later than the Nintendo Wii version.
Yeah.
Some minor differences in terms of camera fidelity. It
was flipped.
It was mirror moded, and no motion controls, obviously. So I'm hoping that Wii U owners aren't necessarily punished for having to wait out this long because they are some of the most diehard Nintendo fans. They stuck with the Wii U literally until the very end, and I do hope that they get rewarded with that and aren't forced to wait weeks and weeks.
Would be a shame.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's an opportunity for Nintendo to say, "Hey, are you sure you don't want this new system?" Right? Just to kind of like dangle that carrot in front of them. But like, I doubt they'll make them wait that long because I think they also want Wii U owners to play Zelda and then say, "This was awesome. I want more Nintendo games." And obviously, we're not going to get a ton of software on that platform. And then maybe holiday season, think about upgrading to Switch.
Now, Pear, you're trying to order a
tried
Nintendo
to
Switch
pre-order,
right now
nothing.
in the middle of our show, which I would call rude, but if the camera shoots to you
I
for a
respect
second,
it.
I'll do the same. Obviously, you're buying one on day one. Is there?
Put the camera on him. Why are you putting the camera on me?
We're trying to catch you. So you're obviously buying one on day one. If they put it on me, I'll never be able to order one. You're buying one on day one. There's nothing would have stopped that, right? Do you think even if Zelda was delayed? I mean, you're an old school hardcore Nintendo fan. You started IGN 64, which became what this is now.
Yeah, I will order it on day one. I'm trying to order it any moment. I will probably order two. Just because they'll be fighting in my house and my kids will get mad, and so we might have to get two.
It seems like an excuse.
So, but
It's
if
for you. Come
one
on.
of you guys can't get one, then I'd of course let you borrow mine for a day.
You just put that on record that we are more
I said
important to you
borrow.
than your children. I just want to make that's out there. That's
well, you have
that's
to
there
cover
for-
it. You have to write about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as we don't cover that with a long beeping
it's-
sound.
Look, it's a no-brainer for me. Like my favorite game series of all time is The Legend of Zelda, followed by Metroid, right? Like and then there's Mario in there, and Uncharted and other platforms as well. But like I really love the core Nintendo games, and so I know I will own this platform no matter what. Why wouldn't I want to get it right when the biggest game in that I love so much comes out? Right, Like,
course.
you gotta get Zelda at launch. Come
Now, Sam, I assume you're in the same boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Day one, no matter what. I've always bought every Nintendo system day one. This one just looks like a better one than some of the others.
Yeah.
I think I'm relieved that I will be able to still play Zelda even if I can't get a Switch because it's probably coming to Wii U.
Yeah. I mean, you're a bunch of rich boys. I'm gonna wait for it for $199. I'm gonna wait until it's a little bit cheaper, or at least until I can
Yeah.
get the accessories cheaper. I think. I feel like they'll be.
You could always
they'll be
sell
fun.
your Wii U. It'd be cheaper then.
How dare you?
Oh, you don't sell anything, do you?
No, I definitely won't sell my Wii U. I
you-
love that console.
Did you drag everything over here from Australia?
I have my Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4.
And
I
are
brought
they
all
all
of them.
PAL and they don't run on our TVs here? Or?
No, they run on TVs fine, but there's plenty of region locked games. Shout out to the Nintendo Switch for no longer being
Doesn't the
region.
3DS take forever to charge or something like
Yeah,
that?
it actually does.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So many problems we have, but one of the problems we won't have is playing the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd of this year for $299.99.
soon.
Plus much more for all of the other accessories and stuff like that. But this is Nintendo Voice Chat. I want to thank my amazing crew tonight for staying late here at IGN, for just being the most passionate people in the games industry. I could not be happier and luckier to be surrounded by such a better crew than you guys. So thank you guys so much.
Aw, thank you.
Nintendo Voice Chat obviously is a weekly show here in IGN. If this is your first episode, we do this all the time, and it's great.
Not quite like this.
It's
but-
never really like this. This is Christmas for us. We were like, what? Yeah. So for all of us here at IGN, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for everything Nintendo and Nintendo Switch. There's that snap. IGN, you're already in the right place. Will you stop doing that?
That was good.
Nintendo
That was good.
Switch, IGN Voice Chat. We're out.